Now let's discuss the physical context of occupation. At the end of this module, you should be able to define the physical context of occupation, discuss the concept of place and space and how these influence occupational behaviors, and analyze how the physical context of home and school can impact our choices of occupations. Let us begin by defining the physical context according to the Occupational Therapy Practice Framework document. Physical context is a natural and built non-human environment and the objects in them. By natural environment, we mean the geographical terrain, sensory qualities of the environment, which also includes plants and animals. Built environment and objects include buildings, furniture, tools, and devices. To give you an idea how the physical context affects performance and engagement in occupation, let us take a look at the physical context of education at a province in my hometown in the Philippines. Click and play the video.
nila, mananghalian na rin. Ang kanin na kanyang sinalmusan, ang siya na rin baon niya sa pananghalian. Wala siyang ulam. Sanay na raw sila sa ganitong sitwasyon. Kaunting tiis na lang naman daw at magtatapos na sila ng high school. Gusto sanang magkolehiyo ng magkapatid, pero mukhang hindi nila ito mararating.
Magtrabaho lang po para makatulong sa pagharap buhay na namin kami. Ang hindi natulong sa bahay.
Sila sinlayo ng kanilang paaralan, ang kanilang mga pangarap na makatuntong man lang ng kolehiyo. Ang Teofilo Elementary School sa Miyamas ng Pate, parang isang pitik na lang, natutumba na.
Tingnan niyo naman ang buwan. Yung mga galaw-galaw na umuuga na talaga siya.
Pangalawang Masbate sa mga pinakamahirap na probinsya sa bansa at kung gaano kasalat ang lugar sa kayamanan, siya namang dami ng problema sa edukasyon. Sa kabila nito, may mga pusigido. Isa na rito si Merlina. 52 anyos na, pero ngayon pa lang nagsisimulang mag-high school. Mas matanda pa si Merlina sa kanyang teacher. At parang anak na niya ang kanyang mga kaklase.
Patay gusto ko kayo mag-eskwela. Isang kurang na ako. Nagpurbagay ako pag-eskwela. Kay kahilig ko kayo tani ang ginikanan ko lang habang pa-eskwela.
Matagal din na panahon niyang hinintay ang magkaroon ng high school sa kanilang lugar. Pero marami pa rin ang kailangang ayusin. Gaya na lang ng gusto nila si Sarah.
Ulang ganyan lang. Kagamitan. Ano yun, may libro na kagamitan. Kada subject o tani may libro. Sa tag-urusad. Sa ayon, o galing ka.
Tutusin, suwerte pa nga ang lugar ni Merlina. At kahit paano, may tinatayong eskwela sa kanilang barangay.
How do you think the geographical and physical condition of the school and classroom setting affect the way students participate and engage in various school activities and the way they perform their studies? Now let's analyze the concept of place and space. Rawls mentioned, over the duration of our lives, we each develop a rhythm and a routine in our use of space and in our relationships with the places of our lives that provide a sense of being in place. We gradually come to wear our environment like a glove. It almost literally becomes part of our persona. What does it mean by living in the country or big city, for example? Does that define and influence one's choices of occupations? What if you've never lived in a suburban setting before? Or a big city? How do you think that impacts the way you choose and perform your various daily activities? The physical context affects one's occupational behaviors. The conditions of the physical environment influence, affect, facilitate, or limit opportunities for engagement in various occupations. If you've always lived in a very quiet neighborhood, how will it affect you when you move to a big city and live at a very busy and noisy street? Do you think it will affect your sleep? study patterns perhaps, and even leisure pursuits? Our perception of space plays a role in establishing a gestalt or a part-whole relationship of the environment. Blanchard Parham said, through organization of space, the individual can build a mental map of where the actions occur that are part of a synergy or where the movement synergies, occupations, and daily routines occur. Our brains creates a visual spatial map of our surrounding, and it affects the way we move around our space. Have you ever experienced before that when you reorganize your room, change the placement of furniture, change where you keep your files and important materials, that sometimes you get disorganized for a while until you begin to adapt to the new changes you've made into your room? As an example, let us take a look at two common environments and physical contexts of occupation. First is the home. Stewart said, the home is associated with self-expression, physical and physiological security and control, ownership and investment, social status, permanence, and continuity and cultural meaning. Some important physical contextual considerations in the home that influence occupational patterns include its size, the number of floors, lighting and ventilation, the distance between rooms, location of furniture, materials, and equipment, and another thing is the presence or absence of stairs, among others. Another common context is the school. This is a very important environment for children and the youth, and it consists of both physical and social environment. How far away is your school from your house? How wide and long are the hallways? Is the classroom quiet, well ventilated, and well lit? How many students are there in class, and how far away are the desks placed relative to each other? These are some common, important physical contextual considerations of the school environment. Now let us review. In analyzing physical contexts, what are some examples of natural environmental factors that we need to look at and consider? Do you still remember? The answer is based on the Occupational Therapy Practice Framework definition of physical contexts. The natural environment includes geographic terrain, sensory qualities of the environment, and even plants and animals. Now give me some examples of built human environmental factors. Buildings. What else? Furniture, tools, and even devices. Good job. Now you're ready to move to the next module.